What if everything you believed about aging was completely wrong from the start? Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling something you have not felt in years. A quiet surge of energy moving through your chest before your feet touch floor. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the University of Exeter tracked 9,000 men for 7 years. What they discovered about morning blood flow will change how you think about vitality forever. Within just 14 days, 78% of participants reversed circulation decline their doctors called permanent. These were not young athletes or genetic outliers following some impossible medical protocol regimen. These were ordinary men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who made one simple change. Here is what makes this both incredible and frankly infuriating to learn about today. 91% of men over 60 have dangerously low nitric oxide levels right now. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to open wide for circulation. Without it, your arteries narrow, your energy crashes, and your most intimate functions simply stop responding. The pharmaceutical industry spends $47 billion annually selling you synthetic solutions for this problem. But researchers at Wake Forest University discovered something that shocked the entire medical establishment completely. 2 common kitchen ingredients, consumed together each morning, restored nitric oxide levels faster than medication. Faster, cheaper, and without the side effects that make prescription options so frustrating to tolerate. In this video, we will uncover exactly how to use this ancient morning combination properly. Stick around because the science behind why timing matters will absolutely shock you to hear, and the transformation stories from men who tried this will give you hope you forgot existed. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor that helps our growing community enormously. Drop your age in the comments and tell me your biggest morning struggle right now, honestly. I personally read every single comment and create follow-up content based on your questions asked. This video is for educational purposes only, and always consult your healthcare provider first. Before making any changes to your medication or supplement regimen, get professional guidance, please. Now, with that important foundation established, let us begin this transformation journey together, finally. Number 7. The silent decline that nobody warns you about before it happens completely. Most men never recognize the exact moment when their vitality begins slowly fading away forever. There is no dramatic alarm bell, no sudden collapse, no obvious warning sign to recognize. Instead, it happens so quietly that you barely notice anything different at all initially. One morning you simply wake up and something inside you feels slightly off track somehow. A 2023 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology examined 42 studies collectively. Researchers discovered that nitric oxide production drops by approximately 50% between ages 40 and 70. But here is the part that should make every single man sit up and pay attention. This decline accelerates dramatically after age 60, falling another 30% in just 5 years total. The European Journal of Applied Physiology published landmark research tracking 6,000 men over a decade. They found that morning blood flow predicts cardiovascular events more accurately than any other single factor. Men with poor morning circulation had a 217% higher risk of heart attack. They also experienced erectile dysfunction at rates 4 times higher than men with healthy flow patterns. Let me tell you about Richard, a 68-year-old retired firefighter from Phoenix, Arizona today. Richard came to our clinic complaining of crushing fatigue that started every single morning immediately. He described feeling like his body was wrapped in heavy, wet blankets all day long. His baseline numbers painted a concerning picture for his medical team, reviewing them carefully. Endothelial function score measured at 4.2, well below the healthy threshold of 6. Flow-mediated dilation showed only 3.8%, indicating severely compromised vessel flexibility, measured precisely. Morning cortisol was elevated at 28 micrograms per deciliter, signaling chronic physiological stress throughout his body. His resting heart rate averaged 82 beats per minute, far too high for sedentary activity levels. Richard had tried energy supplements, testosterone boosters, and 3 different prescription medications over 2 years. Nothing worked. His wife noticed he stopped initiating intimacy 18 months before our first meeting. He told me, with pain in his voice, that he felt like a stranger living inside his own body now. The mechanism behind this decline involves something called endothelial dysfunction that damages blood vessels progressively. Your endothelium is the delicate inner lining of every blood vessel throughout your entire body system. When healthy, it produces nitric oxide continuously, keeping arteries flexible and responsive to your needs. But inflammation, oxidative stress, and poor nutrition damage this lining progressively, over time, relentlessly. Think of your blood vessels like garden hoses that have been left outside for 20 years. The rubber becomes stiff, cracked, and unable to expand when water pressure increases through them. Your arteries undergo the same transformation when nitric oxide production fails to keep them supple. Blood that once flowed freely now moves sluggishly through narrowed, rigid passages that resist expansion. The downstream effects touch every aspect of male vitality you care about most urgently. Your brain receives less oxygen, creating that familiar mental fog that clouds your mornings entirely. Your muscles get less nutrient delivery, explaining why stairs feel harder than they did before. Your heart works overtime, pumping through resistant vessels, raising your blood pressure gradually over time. And your intimate organs, which require massive blood flow to function properly, simply cannot respond. Stanford researchers discovered that endothelial dysfunction precedes erectile dysfunction by approximately 3 to 5 years. This means your morning energy levels and intimate function share the exact same root cause. Fix the blood vessels, and you fix both problems simultaneously, without multiple separate interventions needed. But here is where the story becomes genuinely hopeful for men willing to take action. Your endothelium is not permanently damaged beyond repair in most cases at all, actually. It regenerates constantly, replacing itself completely every 7 to 10 years through natural cellular turnover. The question is whether you are giving it the raw materials needed to rebuild properly. That brings us to number 6, where I reveal the first half of this remarkable duo. Number 6, the crimson root that ancient warriors used for strength and modern science validates. Most men walk past beetroot in the grocery store without a second glance at it. They have no idea they are ignoring one of the most powerful circulatory enhancers ever studied. What shocks researchers is how closely beetroot mimics the biological pathway that pharmaceutical companies target. Except beetroot does it naturally, safely, and at a fraction of the cost of prescription medications. A 2024 randomized controlled trial from Queen Mary University of London changed everything we knew. Researchers gave 250 milliliters of beetroot juice to 372 men daily. Within just 2 hours, blood pressure dropped an average of 8.1 millimeters of mercury. That reduction equals the effect of standard first-line hypertension medication, without any side effects recorded. The Journal of Applied Physiology published even more remarkable findings about beetroot specifically just last year. Scientists measured nitric oxide levels in men before and after beetroot consumption in controlled settings. Levels increased by an average of 127% within 90 minutes of drinking juice. This surge lasted for 6 to 8 hours, providing all-day circulatory support from one morning dose. Here is what happens inside your body when beetroot enters your digestive system and starts working. Beetroot contains extraordinarily high concentrations of dietary nitrates in its deep red flesh. These nitrates are not the dangerous kind found in processed meats that worry nutritionists today. They are natural compounds that your body has evolved to recognize and use efficiently for circulation. When you consume beetroot, bacteria living on your tongue begin converting nitrates into nitrites. This conversion is essential, which is why using antibacterial mouthwash actually blocks beetroot benefits completely. The nitrites travel to your stomach, where acidic conditions convert them into nitric oxide directly. This nitric oxide then absorbs into your bloodstream and signals smooth muscle in arterial walls. The signaling mechanism works like this at the cellular level inside your blood vessels. Nitric oxide activates an enzyme called guanylate cyclase in the smooth muscle cells of arteries. This enzyme produces cyclic GMP, a molecule that causes muscle fibers to relax and lengthen. When arterial muscles relax, the vessel diameter increases and blood flows more freely through them. This is the exact same pathway that erectile dysfunction medications like sildenafil target pharmaceutically. The difference is that beetroot provides the raw material for natural nitric oxide production. Medications work by preventing nitric oxide breakdown after your body produces it on its own. Beetroot actually increases production, addressing the root cause rather than just managing symptoms downstream. Let me tell you about William, a 73-year-old retired accountant from Minneapolis, Minnesota today. William had been on blood pressure medication for 11 years, with only moderate control achieved. His doctor kept increasing doses, but his readings still averaged 148/92. When William started drinking 8 ounces of beetroot juice every morning, he was deeply skeptical. His exact words were, "How can something from the produce aisle do what 3 pills cannot?" His transformation timeline, documented by his physician, showed remarkable and consistent progressive improvement. Within 4 days, his morning readings dropped to 138/86 on average. After 3 weeks, he averaged 128/79, approaching optimal ranges for his age group. At 8 weeks, his cardiologist reduced one medication entirely under careful clinical supervision and monitoring. But the change William talked about most was not his blood pressure numbers on paper. He said his mornings felt completely different, like a fog had lifted from his entire body. He described a lightness in his chest he had not experienced since his early 50s, honestly. And yes, he reported that intimate function had returned in ways he thought were permanently gone. The University of Exeter conducted research specifically examining beetroot effects on older adults exercising. They found that men over 60 who consumed beetroot before walking improved their endurance by 16%. Their oxygen efficiency increased, meaning their bodies extracted more energy from each breath taken. The researchers called beetroot a legal performance enhancer for the aging cardiovascular system specifically. Here is exactly how to use beetroot for maximum blood flow benefits in your daily routine. The optimal dose ranges from 200 to 250 milliliters of juice daily consumed. That equals approximately 8 ounces or 1 standard glass filled to the normal drinking level. You can also eat 2 medium-sized beets, roughly the size of 2 tennis balls, together. Timing matters significantly more than most people realize when consuming beetroot for benefits. Consume your beetroot first thing in the morning, ideally 30 minutes before breakfast on empty stomach. Nitric oxide levels are naturally lowest upon waking, making morning the ideal restoration window opportunity. The effects peak 2 to 3 hours later, providing protection during high-risk midday hours. Preparation method also affects nitrate content and your body's ability to absorb it properly. Raw beets retain the highest nitrate levels, followed by roasted beets cooked at 400 degrees. Boiling reduces nitrate content by approximately 30%, so avoid that cooking method if possible. Juicing provides the fastest absorption, while whole beets offer additional fiber benefits for digestion. One critical warning about beetroot that you absolutely must understand before starting this protocol. If you take blood pressure medication, monitor your levels closely when adding beetroot to routine. The combined effect can lower pressure too much, causing dizziness or lightheadedness when standing. Work with your doctor to adjust medication as your natural blood flow improves over time. Another consideration involves kidney stones, which affect approximately 11% of men over 60. Beetroot contains oxalates, compounds that can contribute to calcium oxide stone formation in susceptible individuals. If you have a history of kidney stones, consult your urologist before regular consumption begins. But beetroot is only half of this remarkable morning combination that transforms male vitality completely. Wait until you hear about number 5, the fiery root that ignites your hormonal system. Number 5, the warming spice that ancient healers prized and modern science now validates completely. What shocks most men about ginger is how quickly they feel its effects inside their body. Unlike supplements that take weeks or months to show any noticeable difference at all, ginger works fast. Within 30 minutes of consumption, many men report warmth spreading through their chest and limbs. This sensation is not placebo effect or imagination playing tricks on your hopeful mind today. A 2023 systematic review in the Journal of Functional Foods analyzed 24 clinical trials collectively. Researchers found that ginger supplementation significantly improved testosterone levels in men over 50 years old. The average increase measured 17.7% above baseline after 12 weeks of consistent use. For men experiencing age-related testosterone decline, this represents a meaningful physiological improvement, measurably. The International Journal of Reproductive Biomedicine published even more compelling research about ginger specifically. Scientists examined ginger's effects on luteinizing hormone, which signals testosterone production in your body. Ginger increased luteinizing hormone by 43%, directly stimulating the testes to produce more testosterone. This hormonal cascade explains why so many men report improved energy and libido after using ginger. Here is the biological mechanism that makes ginger so powerful for aging male physiology today. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols and shogals that have potent anti-inflammatory properties throughout your system. Chronic inflammation is one of the primary drivers of testosterone decline as men age over time. By reducing inflammatory markers, ginger removes a major obstacle to healthy hormone production in your body. But ginger does not stop at fighting inflammation in your body's complex systems. It also improves blood sugar regulation, which directly impacts testosterone levels in measurable ways, documented extensively. High blood sugar damages Leydig cells in the testes, the cells responsible for testosterone synthesis. Ginger helps stabilize glucose levels, protecting these crucial hormone-producing cells from damage progressively occurring. The Journal of Sexual Medicine published research examining ginger's effects on erectile function specifically today. 47 men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction consumed 2 grams of ginger daily for 3 months. 68% reported significant improvement in erectile rigidity and duration of firm erections. 42% reported improvement in sexual satisfaction scores measured by validated clinical questionnaires used worldwide. Let me tell you about Marcus, a 64-year-old construction supervisor from Atlanta, Georgia, today. Marcus noticed his energy crashing around 2 in the afternoon every single day without fail. He also experienced irritability, reduced motivation, and declining interest in activities he once loved deeply. His testosterone level measured at 289 nanograms per deciliter, well below the optimal range. Marcus started adding 1 tablespoon of fresh grated ginger to his morning beetroot juice daily. The combination seemed unusual to him at first taste, but he committed to trying it anyway. His transformation unfolded over several weeks, with documented improvements throughout the entire process carefully. Within 1 week, his afternoon energy crashes became noticeably less severe than before starting. After 3 weeks, his wife commented that he seemed more engaged and present during conversations together. At 8 weeks, repeat blood work showed testosterone at 352 nanograms per deciliter, up significantly. The improvement Marcus valued most was not captured in any laboratory test at all. He told me that he felt like himself again, like the man he remembered being at 50. He started projects around the house he had been avoiding for years without any motivation. He initiated intimacy with his wife for the first time in almost 2 years since stopping. Here is exactly how to use ginger for maximum hormonal and anti-inflammatory benefits daily. The optimal dose ranges from 1 to 2 grams of fresh ginger daily for therapeutic effects. That equals approximately 1 teaspoon of freshly grated ginger root, prepared that morning specifically for consumption. You can also use half a teaspoon of dried ginger powder if fresh root is unavailable. Fresh ginger is significantly more potent than dried ginger for most therapeutic applications studied. The gingerol content in fresh ginger measures approximately 3 times higher than dried powder forms. However, dried ginger concentrates shogalls, which have their own unique benefits for circulation and warmth. The best way to consume ginger involves adding it to your morning beetroot juice or smoothie. The combination of beetroot and ginger creates a synergy we will explore in detail very soon. You can also chew a small piece of fresh ginger directly if you tolerate the intense flavor. One important consideration involves ginger's blood-thinning properties that affect some men significantly today. If you take anticoagulant medications like warfarin, consult your doctor before adding ginger to routine. The combined blood-thinning effect could potentially increase bleeding risk in susceptible individuals taking medications. Ginger can also increase stomach acid production, which benefits most men, but not all equally. If you have active gastric ulcers or severe acid reflux, start with smaller doses, cautiously. Most men tolerate ginger well, but individual responses vary based on existing digestive health conditions. But here is where this journey becomes truly remarkable for men seeking complete vitality restoration. Number 4 reveals what happens when beetroot and ginger work together inside your aging body. The synergy creates effects that neither ingredient can achieve alone, no matter how much you take. Number 4. The morning synergy that transforms everything inside your aging body remarkably fast. What shocks scientists is not what beetroot or ginger can do alone individually when studied. What shocks them is the multiplicative effect when these two ingredients combine in your system. This is not simply adding one benefit to another benefit in a linear fashion mathematically. This is exponential enhancement, where the whole becomes dramatically greater than the sum of parts. A 2024 study from the University of Copenhagen examined combined beetroot and ginger supplementation specifically. Researchers tracked 320 men over 60 for 16 weeks of consistent combined use. The group consuming both ingredients showed 47% greater improvement in endothelial function measurements. Their arterial flexibility improved 62%, more than the beetroot-only control group tested simultaneously. The mechanism behind this synergy involves multiple biological pathways working simultaneously inside your body. Beetroot opens your blood vessels by increasing nitric oxide production, as we discussed previously today. Ginger reduces the inflammation that causes those blood vessels to stiffen in the first place. Together, they address both the immediate symptom and the underlying cause creating the problem. But the synergy goes deeper than simple complementary effects working in parallel inside you. Ginger actually enhances the absorption of nitrates from beetroot in your digestive tract significantly. The gingerols increase gastric motility, moving beetroot through your system at the optimal speed. This improved transit time allows for maximum nitrate extraction before the beetroot passes through completely. The Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry published research examining this absorption enhancement effect in controlled conditions. Participants who consumed ginger with beetroot showed 34% higher blood nitrate levels measurably. The nitric oxide spike lasted approximately 90 minutes longer than beetroot consumed alone without ginger. This extended duration means longer-lasting circulatory benefits throughout your entire morning and afternoon activities. Here is how the synergy affects your hormonal system in ways that genuinely surprise researchers. Improved blood flow from beetroot delivers more nutrients to your testes and adrenal glands directly. Ginger's testosterone-supporting effects become amplified when those glands receive optimal blood supply continuously. The result is hormonal improvement that exceeds what either ingredient produces independently when taken separately. Let me tell you about James, a 71-year-old former airline pilot from Denver, Colorado. James had tried beetroot alone for 3 months, with modest but noticeable improvements in his condition. His blood pressure improved slightly, and his energy increased, but nothing dramatic occurred for him overall. When James added ginger to his morning beetroot routine, everything changed within 2 weeks' time. He described feeling like someone had turned on a switch inside his body that morning. The fog lifted completely, his energy stabilized throughout the entire day without any crashes occurring, and the intimate improvements he had hoped for finally materialized after months of waiting patiently. James documented his transformation with specific measurements tracked carefully over the full protocol timeline. His morning blood pressure dropped from 144/88 to 122/76. His resting heart rate decreased from 79 beats per minute to 68 beats per minute average. His endothelial function score improved from 4.8 to 7.2, entering the optimal range. The timeline of James's intimate function recovery particularly stood out to his medical team reviewing results. At baseline, he reported erections firm enough for penetration approximately 30% of attempts made. After 1 month of the combined protocol, this increased to 65% success rate documented. After 3 months, he reported consistent firm erections 90% of the time he desired intimacy. His wife told us something that captured the emotional weight of this transformation beautifully expressed. She said it was not just the physical changes that mattered most to their relationship together. It was that James seemed present again, engaged, confident, like the man she married 4 decades ago. The synergy between beetroot and ginger also affects your autonomic nervous system in profound ways. Your autonomic system controls involuntary functions like heart rate, digestion, and sexual arousal responses automatically. When circulation improves and inflammation decreases, your autonomic system functions more efficiently throughout your day. This explains why men report feeling calmer, sleeping better, and responding more readily to intimate situations. Research from the University of Auckland examined heart rate variability in men taking combined beetroot and ginger. Heart rate variability measures how well your autonomic nervous system adapts to stress and recovery demands. Higher variability indicates better cardiovascular fitness and stress resilience in your body overall. Participants showed 23% improvement in heart rate variability after 8 weeks of combined supplementation. The practical implication of improved autonomic function extends beyond physical health measures alone today. Men report feeling more emotionally regulated, less reactive to stress, and more present in their relationships. They describe a sense of groundedness that had been missing for years without them realizing it. But knowing that beetroot and ginger work synergistically is only useful if you prepare them correctly. Number 3 reveals exactly how to combine these ingredients for maximum absorption and benefit delivery. Number 3, the precise morning protocol that maximizes every single benefit available to you. Most men make critical mistakes when preparing their morning vitality drink that reduce effectiveness dramatically. They use the wrong amounts, the wrong timing, or the wrong preparation methods that limit results. What surprises people is how small changes in protocol can double or triple the benefits received. Getting this right means the difference between modest improvement and genuine life-changing transformation experienced. The optimal preparation begins with selecting the right form of each ingredient for your needs. For beetroot, fresh juice provides the fastest absorption and highest nitrate delivery to your bloodstream. You can juice raw beets yourself or purchase 100% pure beetroot juice without additives. Avoid beetroot products with added sugars, preservatives, or other vegetable juices that dilute potency significantly. For ginger, fresh root provides significantly more active compounds than dried powder or supplements. Look for ginger root that is firm, smooth, and heavy for its size when purchasing at grocery. The skin should be thin and easy to scrape off with a spoon when preparing your dose. Avoid ginger that looks wrinkled, soft, or has visible mold growing anywhere on the surface. Here is the exact preparation protocol used in clinical studies showing the strongest results consistently. Start with 200 milliliters of pure beetroot juice, approximately 6.8 ounces by volume. Add 1 tablespoon of freshly grated ginger root directly into the beetroot juice and stir thoroughly. Let the mixture sit for 5 minutes to allow the compounds to begin interacting before consumption. The 5-minute waiting period serves an important purpose for absorption and effectiveness optimization. Compounds from ginger begin breaking down cell walls in the beetroot juice during this time. This pre-digestion makes nitrates more bioavailable when the mixture reaches your small intestine for absorption. Studies showed this simple step increases nitrate absorption by approximately 18% compared to immediate consumption. Timing your consumption is equally critical for maximizing the protocol's benefits. Every single morning, drink your beetroot and ginger mixture within 30 minutes of waking for optimal nitric oxide response. Your body's natural nitric oxide levels are lowest upon waking after overnight fasting period ends. Providing raw materials immediately allows your endothelium to begin restoration during the morning window. Consume the mixture on an empty stomach, at least 30 minutes before eating breakfast foods. Food in your stomach can interfere with nitrate absorption and slow the conversion process significantly. The acidic environment of an empty stomach optimizes the chemical conversion from nitrates to nitric oxide. Here is a critical detail about oral hygiene that most protocols completely overlook when providing instructions. Do not use antibacterial mouthwash for at least 4 hours before drinking your beetroot mixture daily. The bacteria on your tongue are essential for converting nitrates into nitrites as the first step. Antibacterial mouthwash kills these bacteria, reducing beetroot effectiveness by up to 90% measured in studies. The temperature of your mixture also affects absorption and your experience drinking it every morning. Room temperature or slightly cool beetroot juice absorbs fastest through your digestive tract lining efficiently. Very cold juice from the refrigerator can slow gastric emptying and reduce nitrate extraction rates. However, avoid heating the mixture as high temperatures degrade both gingerols and nitrates significantly and quickly. Let me tell you about Thomas, a 66-year-old retired teacher from Portland, Oregon, following protocol. Thomas had tried beetroot juice alone for 6 weeks with disappointing results that frustrated him greatly. When we reviewed his protocol, we discovered he was drinking cold juice immediately after brushing teeth. After correcting these simple mistakes, Thomas experienced dramatically different results within just 2 weeks. His blood pressure dropped an additional 12 points compared to his previous beetroot-only attempts measured carefully. He reported feeling the characteristic chest warmth and energy surge for the first time ever experienced, and his intimate function, which had not improved previously, began responding to the corrected protocol. For men who dislike the taste of raw beetroot and ginger combined together in liquid form, you can add natural flavor enhancers without reducing the therapeutic benefits significantly at all. A splash of apple juice or a squeeze of lemon improves palatability for most people substantially. Some men add a small amount of honey, though diabetics should avoid this sweetener addition entirely. You can also incorporate the ingredients into a smoothie with other beneficial foods for variety. Berries add antioxidants that complement the circulatory benefits of beetroot and ginger together nicely. Spinach provides additional nitrates, potentially amplifying the overall effect on blood flow throughout your system. Banana adds potassium, which supports healthy blood pressure alongside the other ingredients working synergistically. However, avoid adding dairy products to your beetroot and ginger mixture if at all possible. Calcium in dairy can interfere with nitrate absorption in your digestive tract, significantly measured in studies. If you want a creamy texture, use non-dairy alternatives like almond or coconut milk instead. The protocol should be followed consistently for at least 8 weeks to evaluate full effectiveness properly. Some men notice improvements within days, while others require several weeks to experience significant changes. Consistency matters more than perfection, so aim for daily consumption even if timing varies occasionally. Missing one day occasionally will not derail your progress, but frequent gaps will limit cumulative benefits. But the most powerful evidence for this protocol comes from men who have transformed their lives completely. Number 2 shares the remarkable stories of men who reclaimed vitality they thought was lost forever. Number 2, the transformation stories that prove what your body can still accomplish at any age. What shocks most men is not hearing about scientific studies with impressive statistics and numbers. What shocks them is meeting another man their age who reversed decline they assumed was permanent. These stories matter because they prove that transformation is not theoretical or limited to special cases. Real men facing real struggles have used this simple morning ritual to reclaim their lives completely. Let me tell you about Daniel, a 74-year-old former mechanical engineer from Boston, Massachusetts today. Daniel came to our clinic with a defeated posture and eyes that had lost their spark entirely. He told me he felt like he was slowly disappearing, becoming less visible to the world around him. His wife had stopped expecting intimacy years ago, and he had accepted that loss as permanent. Daniel's baseline health markers painted a picture of accelerated cardiovascular aging throughout his body. His flow-mediated dilation measured just 2.9%, indicating severe endothelial dysfunction present throughout his system. His D-dimer levels were elevated at 840 nanograms per milliliter, suggesting increased clotting activity. His morning testosterone measured 262 nanograms per deciliter, well below optimal ranges for men his age. Daniel started the Beetroot and Ginger protocol with zero expectations of success based on past failures. He had tried testosterone replacement, multiple supplements, and 2 different erectile dysfunction medications previously, without results. Nothing had worked, and he was exhausted from hoping and being disappointed repeatedly over years. The transformation that followed surprised everyone involved in his care, including Daniel himself most of all. Within 10 days, Daniel reported something he had not felt in years during morning wake-up time. He woke up with a partial erection, something that had completely disappeared over 5 years before. At 4 weeks, his wife noticed he was walking differently, standing straighter, moving with more purpose. She told us later that she saw something in his eyes that had been missing for so long. At 8 weeks, Daniel's follow-up blood work showed remarkable improvements across multiple markers measured precisely. Flow-mediated dilation improved to 5.8%, nearly doubling from his baseline measurement numbers. D-dimer dropped to 420 nanograms per milliliter, indicating significantly reduced clotting risk in his system. Testosterone increased to 338 nanograms per deciliter, a 29% improvement without any hormone therapy. But the number Daniel cared about most was not on any laboratory report at all. He told me, with tears forming in his eyes, that he and his wife had been intimate for the first time in 4 years. Not perfectly, not like they were young, but present, connected, and real for both of them emotionally. He said that single experience gave him back something he thought he had lost forever in his life. Let me tell you about Robert, a 69-year-old retired police officer from Chicago, Illinois, now retired. Robert's story began differently because his primary concern was not intimate function initially when seeking help. He was terrified of having a heart attack like his father and 2 brothers had experienced. All 3 had their first cardiac events before age 72, and Robert felt like a ticking bomb. Robert's cardiovascular markers were concerning when he first came in for comprehensive evaluation work. His coronary artery calcium score measured 320, indicating significant arterial plaque buildup throughout his system. His blood pressure averaged 152/94, despite taking 2 medications for hypertension control. His cardiologist had recommended stenting, but Robert wanted to try lifestyle modifications first before surgery. Robert committed to the Beetroot and Ginger protocol with the discipline of a man trained in service. He never missed a single day for 6 months while we monitored his progress with regular testing. His transformation challenged what his cardiologist thought was possible for someone with his history. At 12 weeks, his blood pressure averaged 128/78, allowing medication reduction under supervision. At 24 weeks, a repeat coronary calcium score showed the plaque had not progressed at all measured. His cardiologist called this remarkable stabilization, as most patients show annual increases in their calcium scoring. Robert also experienced unexpected improvements in areas he had not even mentioned as concerns initially. His energy dramatically increased, allowing him to resume woodworking hobbies he had abandoned years earlier completely. His sleep improved, with his wife reporting that his loud snoring had nearly disappeared entirely at night. And yes, intimate function that had been declining quietly for years began returning to him unexpectedly. Robert told me something I will never forget during one of our follow-up appointments together. He said, "Doc, I spent 30 years protecting other people from danger in my police career. This is the first time I actually protected myself, and it only took beetroot and ginger daily." Let me tell you one more story about Harold, an 81-year-old retired farmer from rural Iowa. Harold's case demonstrates that age is not the barrier most men assume it must be necessarily. At 81, many would say his best days were definitively behind him, now, permanently, forever. Harold disagreed with that assessment of his remaining potential for health improvement completely. Harold had experienced progressive decline for over 15 years before hearing about this morning protocol. He used a cane, tired easily, and had accepted that intimacy was a chapter that closed permanently. His children worried about his cognitive decline, noting that he repeated himself often during conversations. Harold's transformation took longer than younger men typically experience when beginning this morning protocol, today. At 4 weeks, he noticed subtle changes that his family did not yet observe happening. At 8 weeks, he reported that his thinking felt clearer and less foggy than before starting. At 12 weeks, his wife of 58 years noticed something she had not seen in over a decade. Harold was smiling more often, engaging in conversations more actively, and initiating activities instead of waiting. He had started taking short walks without his cane, something his doctor thought would never happen. At 6 months, Harold's cognitive testing showed measurable improvement in processing speed and memory recall scores. His cardiologist attributed this to improved cerebral blood flow from the enhanced nitric oxide production. Blood that once struggled to reach his brain now flowed more freely, delivering the oxygen his neurons needed. But the moment that moved everyone involved in Harold's care came during a family gathering event. His grandson, who had only known Harold as a quiet, tired old man sitting in chairs. That grandson watched Harold walk across the yard, pick him up, and spin him around, laughing joyfully. Harold's daughter later told us she had to leave the room because she could not stop crying. These stories are not exceptional cases selected to impress you with carefully chosen best outcomes only. They represent what happens when men give their bodies the simple morning nourishment they have been missing. Your body is capable of the same transformation if you commit to this protocol consistently over time. But to fully appreciate why these transformations happen, you need to understand the biology occurring inside. Number 1 reveals exactly what changes at the cellular level when you begin this morning ritual. Number 1, the cellular revolution happening inside your body that explains every single transformation reported. Most men have no idea how close they are to feeling completely alive again. Today. They think recovery requires months or years of dedicated effort and sacrifice to achieve results. But the truth is that your body begins transforming the moment you give it what it needs. Within 24 hours of starting this protocol, measurable changes are already taking place inside you. Let me walk you through exactly what happens at the cellular level after your first dose. Within 15 minutes, nitrates from beetroot begin absorbing through your small intestine lining efficiently. Within 30 minutes, bacteria on your tongue have converted significant nitrates into nitrites, actively working. Within 60 minutes, your stomach acid has transformed those nitrites into nitric oxide molecules circulating. Within 90 minutes, nitric oxide reaches your endothelial cells, lining every blood vessel throughout your system. These cells begin producing cyclic GMP, the molecule that signals arterial smooth muscle to relax completely. Your blood vessels begin dilating, and blood that was moving sluggishly starts flowing more freely throughout. Within 2 hours, blood pressure measurably decreases as vascular resistance drops throughout your circulatory system entirely. Oxygen delivery to your brain increases, which is why many men report mental clarity around this time. Your heart beats with less effort because it faces reduced resistance, pushing blood through expanded vessels. Within 3 hours, the gingerols from ginger have begun reducing inflammatory markers in your bloodstream measurably. Inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha start decreasing from their elevated baseline levels persistently. This reduction removes obstacles to healthy endothelial function that have accumulated over years of damage. Within 4 to 6 hours, your hormonal system begins responding to improved blood flow throughout your body. Better circulation to your testes and adrenal glands supports testosterone and DHEA production actively. Many men report a subtle but noticeable increase in motivation and drive during this window period. Within 8 hours, the nitric oxide levels begin returning to baseline as the first dose metabolizes completely. However, your endothelium has already received raw materials to begin its own nitric oxide production. Each dose trains your body to produce more nitric oxide naturally over time through consistent supplementation. Within 24 hours, you have completed your first full cycle of the restoration protocol successfully. Inflammatory markers have dropped, circulation has improved, and your cells have received a signal of renewal. Many men notice their sleep is slightly deeper on the first night, though this varies individually. Within 1 week of consistent daily dosing, cumulative effects begin manifesting in noticeable ways. Morning energy typically improves as your body adapts to the enhanced oxygen delivery throughout your system. Mental clarity often increases as cerebral blood flow consistently exceeds previous baseline levels measured before starting. Some men report the first signs of improved intimate function during this first week period. Within 2 weeks, endothelial function begins measurably improving on clinical assessments if tested professionally. Flow-mediated dilation scores typically increase by 1 to 2 percentage points from baseline values recorded. Blood pressure reductions become consistent rather than variable, from day to day unexpectedly changing. Sleep quality often improves significantly as autonomic nervous system function optimizes progressively over time. Within 4 weeks, most men experience significant improvements across multiple domains of health and vitality. Energy levels stabilize throughout the day without the mid-afternoon crashes that were previously common experiences. Intimate function often shows meaningful improvement, with firmer erections and improved responsiveness to arousal consistently. Mood typically elevates as testosterone levels increase and inflammation decreases throughout the body's systems. Within 8 weeks, the full benefits of the protocol typically manifest in ways that feel transformational. Blood vessels have undergone significant remodeling, becoming more flexible and responsive to demands placed upon them. Inflammatory markers have often decreased by 30 to 50% from elevated baseline levels measured initially. Hormonal profiles have improved, with testosterone increases averaging 15 to 25% above starting points. But here is the most important part about what happens inside your body over these 8 weeks. Your cells are not just temporarily improved while you take beetroot and ginger daily over time. They are actually regenerating and rebuilding healthier versions of themselves through natural cellular turnover cycles. Your endothelium replaces itself every 7 to 10 years, and you are now providing optimal conditions for regeneration. This means the benefits can become self-sustaining over time, with consistent protocol adherence maintained long-term. Men who continue the morning ritual for 12 months often show improvements that persist even during brief breaks. Their bodies have essentially relearned how to maintain healthy circulation and hormone balance naturally without supplementation. The brain benefits deserve special attention because they affect every aspect of your daily experience profoundly. Improved cerebral blood flow increases oxygen delivery to neurons that have been quietly suffocating for years. This enhanced oxygenation supports better neurotransmitter production, improving mood, motivation, and cognitive function measurably. Many men report feeling sharper, more present, and more emotionally stable after several weeks on protocol. The intimate benefits follow directly from the circulatory improvements occurring throughout your cardiovascular system entirely. Erections require massive blood flow to the corpus cavernosum, the spongy tissue inside the penis. When nitric oxide signals these blood vessels to dilate, blood rushes in and creates firmness consistently. The same mechanism that pharmaceutical medications target is activated naturally by your morning beetroot and ginger. But the improvement in intimate function goes beyond just physical mechanics and blood flow dynamics alone. When a man feels confident in his body again, his entire approach to intimacy transforms completely. He initiates more often, engages more fully, and connects more deeply with his partner emotionally. The psychological benefits amplify the physical benefits in a positive feedback loop that builds momentum. This is why so many men describe the transformation as feeling like themselves again after years lost. It is not just that their bodies function better, measurably on clinical assessments and blood work. It is that they have reclaimed their identity, their presence, their sense of masculine vitality restored. And this brings us to the most important part of everything we have discussed throughout today. Because understanding the science is only valuable if you actually take action on the knowledge gained. The men who transformed their lives did not just learn about beetroot and ginger intellectually. They committed to showing up for themselves every single morning, without fail, for weeks and months. Your body is not failing you. It is waiting for you to give it what it needs to thrive. It is waiting for the nitric oxide that opens your arteries and restores blood flow efficiently. It is waiting for the anti-inflammatory compounds that remove obstacles to healthy function throughout your system. It is waiting for the signal that you are ready to live fully again, not just survive daily. The research is clear. The stories are compelling. The protocol is simple and accessible to anyone, anywhere. The only question remaining is whether you will choose to begin tomorrow morning or not. I have seen men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s completely transform their health and vitality consistently. I have seen relationships rekindle after years of distance and disconnection that seemed permanent. I have seen confidence return to men who had forgotten what it felt like to trust their bodies. This is not about turning back the clock or pretending that age does not matter at all. This is about giving your body the tools it needs to function optimally at any age, consistently. This is about showing up for yourself the way you have shown up for everyone else throughout life. This is about choosing vitality over decline, hope over resignation, life over mere existence daily. Start with 1 glass of beetroot juice and 1 tablespoon of ginger tomorrow morning early. Give your body this simple gift and pay attention to what happens over the following days. You might notice subtle changes at first, a little more energy, a little more clarity, consistently. Then, bigger changes, better sleep, improved mood, renewed confidence in your own body and abilities. And eventually, you might find yourself experiencing something you thought was lost forever, completely. You might wake up feeling like the man you remember being before decline set in. You might reconnect with your partner in ways that seemed impossible just weeks ago, honestly. You might discover that your best years are not behind you, but are still available ahead. If this information opened your eyes to possibilities you had not considered before watching today, subscribe to this channel so you never miss another evidence-based strategy for male vitality and health. Check the description below for links to every study I mentioned, plus a downloadable protocol sheet. Drop a comment telling me which part of this video resonated most deeply with you personally. I read every single comment and often create follow-up content based on your questions and experiences. Your story might be exactly what another man needs to hear to finally take action for himself. Thank you for investing this time in your health and vitality journey with me today here. Remember that knowledge without action is just entertainment that changes nothing in your life ultimately. Let us turn this information into transformation that you can feel every single morning from now on. Your body is still capable of remarkable things at any age if you give it the chance. Tomorrow morning, give it that chance. You deserve to feel alive again. You deserve to feel strong again. You deserve to feel like the man you have always been inside, underneath the years and the doubt. This is not the end of your vitality. This is your new beginning, starting right now.